After finishing his farm work, the man returned home. He twisted the door handle lightly, and to his shock, the entire door came off. He hadn't even used force. The truth was, it was all thanks to his farming skills. That morning, Rado had finally maxed out every farming-related ability. Most of them were mundane: plowing, sowing, watering, but when combined, they transformed his status panel. His attack stat jumped from 70 to 70,000. Rado had no sense of what that number meant. To him, what mattered most was going to town the next day to sell vegetables. The next morning, chewing on one of his carrots, Rado set off. On the road, he saw something terrifying: a dragon in the sky, and adventurers battling it on the ground. Rado was only a farmer, he had no way to fight such a monster. But then he thought maybe he could distract it with a carrot. He tossed one into the air. To his disbelief, the carrot transformed into a missile and struck the dragon. The mighty beast exploded in an instant. The adventurers below froze in shock. An S-rank forest dragon had just been one shot. Rado, just as stunned, thought the dragon must have been fake. He didn't dwell on it. Selling vegetables was more important. By the time 3 dragon-slaying heroes arrived, all they saw were wagon tracks. Rado was already in town. There, another incident unfolded. Rado saw a girl being kidnapped. Instinctively, he leapt forward and landed with the girl in his arms. The kidnapper, startled, released her, but then tried to attack. Rado dodged effortlessly and threw him over his shoulder. Guards rushed in to arrest the man. Rado pretended it was nothing, but inside he was panicking. He had just realized he had another ability: true sight. The girl, Reina, wanted to thank him, but Rado fled before she could even ask his name. He had vegetables to sell. At the marketplace, Rado focused on his produce. Later, when he reached the city gate, guards stopped him. Confused, Rado turned to see Reina approaching. She was no ordinary girl, she was a princess. She offered Rado a royal position, with a generous salary. Rado refused. All he wanted was to farm. Reina thought for a moment, then promised him something greater: 10,000 acres of farmland. Rado hesitated. Why was she so eager to recruit him? She explained, the man he defeated earlier had an average stat power of 500. For comparison, an ordinary person's was 50, adventurers were around 130, knights reached 600, and the legendary hero had 1,000. She asked Rado what his stats were. He didn't answer. He couldn't risk exposing himself. Before the conversation went further, 3 men arrived at the gate carrying a glowing crystal. The guards recognized them. They claimed it was the drop from an S-rank forest dragon, but admitted they hadn't killed it. The only clue was that they'd seen a wagon pass by. Reina immediately thought of Rado, but he was already gone. She vowed to track him down. But before she could act, dire news arrived. A massive army of monsters was marching toward the capital. They were led by a demon general, seizing the chance after learning the hero was gone. Advisors urged the king to flee with Reina. That night, they escaped the capital. But soon they found themselves in a dead end. The king prepared to turn back when their silent chamberlain revealed the truth. He drew his blade and cut down the soldiers in an instant. He was no chamberlain at all, but the demon general himself. It had been a trap all along. His goal was to replace the king and princess, to claim the kingdom from within. The dragon and the kidnapping were mere setbacks. The real plan had just begun.